Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to the Izmo Limited Q4 and FY23 earnings conference call. This conference call may contain forward-looking statements about the company, which are based on the beliefs, opinions, and expectations of the company as on date of this call. The statements are not the guarantee of future performance and involve risks and uncertainties which are difficult to predict. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star then 0 on a touch-tone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Sanjay Soni, Managing Director from Izmo Limited. Thank you, and over to you, Mr. Sanjay Soni.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I would like to wish you all a very warm welcome to Izmo Limited's earnings conference call for the quarter and year ended 31st March 2023. I would like to begin by expressing my gratitude to you all for taking the time to join us today. We have on call with us Mr. Tej Soni, President, Izmo Card, as well as Adfactors, our investor relations team. Since this is only our second earnings conference call, I would like to share a brief overview of our company and some key recent developments before getting into the business and financial performance. Brief background about the company. Izmo Limited was established in 1995 as a software development company, specializing in digital marketing, and became public listed in 1999. Izmo has grown over the years through rigorous R&D and product development to carve a niche for itself as specialists in online automotive software. Based out of Bangalore, India, the company has offices across the US, France, and Belgium, with a strong foothold in these regions. We entered the European markets in 2008 through our interactive media studio in Belgium. Today, we have products in across France, Spain, Italy, Portugal, among others. Majority of our revenue comes from the US through our subsidiary Izmo Cars Inc. Our core expertise in the automotive sector and our long-standing association with dealerships across the US and Europe have given us a strong brand name in the industry. Some of our marquee clients include Peugeot Citroën, Mitsubishi Motors, Toyota, Ford, Lexus, Sony Gaming, Europcar, Auto Trader, etc. Our product suite has also expanded over the years to encompass online marketing solutions, data analytics through our Frog Data product offering, and computer-generated imagery, CGI, under which we have some gaming-related graphics projects underway. Some of our more recent product developments include Izmo Emporio, an interactive solution for dealers to showcase cars on their online virtual showrooms. We take pride in the unique value addition that our products offer to customers, which sets them aside from the competition. Coming to the key recent developments, the last year witnessed various headwinds in the form of macroeconomic volatility, fluctuations in interest rates, and geopolitical tensions impacting many sectors and regions. However, Izmo has not only sustained through the market cycle but performed well during the year. I'm happy to share that in the last 2 quarters, we recorded our highest ever quarterly client additions, mainly driven by Frog Data. This reflects the strong calling that our products command in the market and the value proposition that we deliver, which makes us stand out in the market. It also reflects a paradigm shift in the automotive industry, which is moving from traditional marketing strategies to digital and online solutions, driven by data analytics. Innovation is part of our DNA at Izmo, and we invest strongly in research and new product development as part of our strategy. In line with this, during the past year, we launched Izmo Emporio, our CGI-based 3D virtual showroom for auto dealers. This can be integrated into a customer's online virtual store to offer an immersive and 360-degree view of the car to viewers. It enables the viewer to interact with the image and add or move accessories, which helps the consumer in the buying decision. The product has been received well in the market and has been fetching good reviews from users. We also launched Frog BI, an enterprise analytics toolkit. We are also developing a VR-based solution that will offer a virtual test drive experience to users. We expect this to be a strong tool to convert potential leads into sales for car dealers and OEMs. Our robust suite of products, AI-driven analytics engine, and widespread coverage enable us to command a premium with a track record of delivering higher return on investments for our customers. That is why we have a very high client stickiness. Our Frog Data product is gaining rapid adoption among customers and is becoming one of the leading solutions in terms of returns and future potential. Frog Data is our own data repository and analytics platform which offers market intelligence information to customers based on various demographical criteria, which is helpful for auto dealers to make business decisions. The platform harnesses the power of AI, artificial intelligence, to deliver unique solutions. As part of our innovation-driven approach, we are developing more AI solutions to power our products. Mr. Tej Soni will talk more about Frog Data in some time. Speaking of geographical expansion, we recently penetrated into the Spain market with some of our products and are gaining good traction there. Based on the strong adoption rates, we aim to capture more regions in Western Europe going forward. Altogether, we shall continue our three-pronged strategy to 1, introduce new products in existing markets, 2, enter new markets with existing products, and 3, expand current product suite in existing markets. Looking ahead, we are exploring suitable opportunities for inorganic expansion in the US to capitalize on the scope for expansion there. With anticipated growth in the new fiscal year, we are poised to grow sustainably. I would now like to hand it over to Mr. Tej Soni, President Izmo Cars, to speak more about Frog Data.
Thank you, Sanjay. This is Tej here. Thank you for all of you for being present. Really appreciate it. I'm calling in from California today. I was in India for some time, but back here because things here are getting really interesting. As you may have all heard, AI is the big buzzword, and everybody's jumping onto the bandwagon. But we've been at it for 7 years. Frog Data was founded, I think, 2015, 2016. And over the last 6-7 years, we've invested a lot in developing the leading platform for automotive analytics and now AI. In fact, AI is nothing more than analytics with machine learning. And initially, it was really slow for us because we were ahead of the market. 5 years back, no one was really paying attention to AI and how it could transform. And honestly, it was a struggle getting people to believe in what we were doing. And during COVID, we really started getting some traction because I think in the automotive market, people have time to sit and think and look at new solutions and new what's happening in the industry. So the investment that we've done in Frog Data basically allows us to integrate with virtually every system here in the US. If you look at the automotive ecosystem, there are several companies at play, which it could be from dealer management systems, which is the ERP system for dealerships, the CRM systems, web analytics, service management systems, or even equipment that dealers use. Today, we are the only company that's integrated with the entire ecosystem. And the really interesting thing is we are able to bring in all the data into our platform. And we did it before even ChatGPT was known in the industry, or people were even aware that something like that existed. We were already building the largest database of automotive data. And today, we are able to use that infrastructure that we've built and parlay it into very, very interesting solutions for our customers. And thanks to the interest in the market, in the industry, we are getting a lot of traction for Frog Data, which is looking at 100% at least year-on-year growth. And this is with, all the development that we've done has been internally financed. We have not taken any external funding. All the growth has come from our engineering team in India, which has done a fantastic job. And today we have a suite of products which take from basic analytics, which any customer can use and they can switch on, and within literally a few hours start getting data about the operations at their dealerships. They can get prescriptive intelligence, that is why something went wrong. They get predictive analytics in what's going to happen, and prescriptive and how to do things. So it's gone from being a long-term investment, and that's what we've always done at Izmo, is do long-term investments into products with a very futuristic view. And today it's become mainstream. We continue to invest in AI. We are just launching a large language model with generative analytics, which would be something like what you see in ChatGPT. The ability to read through data and talk to you. And that product is slated to come out towards the Q4 of this year, where customers will basically be able to query their data and say, how is my sales projections faring, and what should I do to increase my sales, or which color car should I be selling, things like that. You can keep querying the data as much as possible. Other applications include where we get all the data from the CRM and automatically generate communications with the customer. So it's a machine learning system where it reads through 5 years of your customer interaction and is able to form complete conversations with the customers, talk to them from the system, which eliminates the need for human. You still have human intervention, but it removes the errors that humans make. So we believe that, everybody talks about AI and robotics, that machines will take over the world. We see the future of AI actually transforming how business is done. And it's going to impact everybody in how we work. And I look at a future one day where you have all the data of a corporation in one system, and it could possibly, let's say you're in the Sun Lever, and you're a district manager in a small office somewhere, and you want to generate a proposal, you can just ask the system, generate a proposal or write out a contract, and it will be able to generate a perfect proposal or a contract based on HLL's internal compliance, etc. Because that's how machine learning works. So the biggest impact we're going to see from AI is not going to be robotics or machines taking over the world, but actually machines taking over business in large organizations. So the future is, and it's moving very, very fast. Literally every day there's new applications being released, and it's really nice to be at the forefront, at least in the automotive industry. And we're finding that we are so ahead of the competition in terms of the platform that we built. It's going to take years and years for others to catch up. Not because the AI engine does not exist, it's because they don't have access to the data that we have, which we built over the last few years. So for us, this is literally one of the most exciting periods in the company. And we are seeing the results. Over the next 18 months, we're going to get, the numbers are coming in every month. We're investing heavily in sales and marketing here in the US because the product is now built out. The main investment is going to be in the sales growth for the company. As far as the virtual reality is concerned, that is another area where, if you know what Facebook is doing with the metaverse, people are looking at it from outside and wondering what's going on. But if you're in the industry, we see actually billions of dollars of revenue being generated from VR in different applications, from medical training to actual learning systems that are being built. And with our platform, which we released actually before COVID, but we couldn't capitalize due to COVID, we are very excited about that as well in Izmo. So we are at heart a innovation company developing new products. sometimes it just takes a little longer for us to get the results because we are ahead of the curve, and it takes time for the market to catch up with us. And I think this is the year where we'll see the results of all the products that we've been investing in.
Thank you, Tej.
Was that?
Anything you'd like to add something more, or can I continue?
No, you can continue.
Okay. Now, turning to our financial performance for the fourth quarter Q4 FY23, we reported 43.66 crore in revenues. In Q4 FY23, a 15.52 year-on-year rise. Growth was driven by several new client additions in key markets. Our EBITDA excluding other income for the quarter stands at rupees 12.16 crores, up 51.48% Y-on-Y. EBITDA margin is higher by 661 bips at 27.84%. Operational efficiencies undertaken helped offset the impact of higher employee expenses. Our PAT during this quarter is 8.29 as against 6.03 in the fourth quarter of FY22. PAT margin stood at 18.99%, higher by 305 bips. EPS for this quarter is 6.19. For the full year FY23, we reported 153.83 crore in revenues during FY23, a 16.16% year-on-year rise. Growth was driven by strong rise in new clients and new product launches in the US and Europe. We also got substantially more OEM business in Europe, and which has been one of the major growth drivers for our European market. Our EBITDA excluding other income for the year grew 23.35% Y-on-Y to rupees 29.14 crores, while EBITDA margin is 18.94%, a rise of 110 bits. Continued investment in our skilled workforce, including issue of ESOPs during the year, were offset by higher efficiencies benefiting margin. Our PAT during this year is 20.02 crores as against 16 crores in FY22. PAT margin stood at 13.01%. EPS for the year is rupees 14.96. That is all from our side. I think we can now take specific questions from our participants. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on their touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. Our first question is from the line of Sudhir Beda from Right Time Private Limited. Please go ahead.
Good morning, sir, and hearty congratulations for the super set of numbers.
Thank you. Good morning.
Sir, I have 2 questions. First, as a new initiative, this probe data, what is the scope in a longer term perspective? And what is the growth opportunities over there? That is number 1. And the second question is bookkeeping question, where our intangible assets have grown to around 200 crores. So if you can throw lights on that and any plan to write off that, and because the current year also there is addition of around 30 crores in intangible assets. So if you can explain. So these are my other 2 questions.
Thank you. Tej, can you answer the first one, then I'll take the second one.
Yeah, the automotive industry that we are focused on is the largest industry in US and employs 1 in 7 people in the US. It's a huge industry. The automotive dealers spend almost $200 billion just on marketing and another, I think, $60 billion on services. So the scope of growth is tremendous for the company. And as I mentioned earlier, we're looking at 3-digit growth year on year. And over the next 3 years, we're going to grow exponentially. Obviously, I cannot give any numbers, but there is no ceiling in terms of growth as of now, because we are literally at the ground floor of this revolution of analytics in the industry, and everybody has to use some platform or the other, and it's a given. And we are right now just starting the journey of growth. So I think over the next 4 to 5 years, we are going to see the long, it's a short term, but the growth is over there because the industry is so big. And we're not even talking of Europe as of now, although we are talking to major OEMs over there for their platforms and the solutions they need, but we are not including it in our forecast because we're basing it just on the US market as far as frog data is concerned. So the potential for growth is huge. It's a $1 trillion market overall, automotive, and dealer services alone is about $3 billion. So for us, there is a huge growth potential.
Understood. That's also what we are seeing in the last 2 quarters. The client accretion, especially on frog data, has been quite significant. Ed, you want to talk about that and how we are adding a lot of clients every quarter on frog data?
Yeah, we have changed our revenue model actually in frog data since last year. We've changed it from services to platform revenue, which makes it recurring revenue. And that is one of the significant changes in the way we do business. And we're seeing that customers are liking it because once they start getting the services as, a platform as a service, they start seeing the results. And like I said, our biggest challenge now is to add more sales people to add to the growth. The market is there. And we're seeing, I've set a very big target for the sales team over here, and we are actively recruiting. And customers are coming. You can see on our website, out of the 1,000 customers, we have some testimonials. And this is the first time I've seen where customers call us and say, "We love you guys. Thank you." I've 20 years of doing the business. I've never had customers call and say, "Thank you very much. We love you." So it feels good.
That's nice to hear, sir. And if you can throw light on the intangible assets.
Only on this.
And the one more thing is, if you can also explain, intangible assets is done with or still going to grow with them?
Yeah. The battery is dying in my cordless phone. Mm-hmm. Yeah, on the intangibles, like I said during our last call also, we are a product company and we spend a lot of, we invest a lot in product development and also in entering new territories. So those kind of expenditures we capitalize as the returns will come over the next few years. In addition, we have added a lot of software last year for the AI, and which we have actually written off through the P&L. So a lot of expenses which are long-term in nature have been capitalized. And being a product company, we will continue to do it. We do write it off every, but the expenses will start coming down once we complete the VR development, which is slated for this year. And also we are looking at new geographies like Germany and a couple of other countries in Europe, going into that for the new, as a new market. So this is a constant thing for us. We are writing off substantially as well, and we hope this will start coming down soon.
So intangible assets will continue to grow in the next couple of years, or you are done
overall
with
it will start coming down as we finish most of our new product development, which should happen by end of this year.
Okay.
We should finish VR also, and Emporio launched last year. So that was a major product. It was nearly 4 years of development. And then the entire AI retooling of the products is being done now. So we are taking AI in our other products as well, other than frog data. All that is happening this year, and we are planning to do it this year.
Understood.
So that means next year onwards it will start going down.
Okay, great, sir. Once again, thanks for the opportunity and congratulations for super set of numbers. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next question is from the line of Vikram Mehta from Shade Capital. Please go ahead.
Good morning, Tej and Sanjay. Good to reconnect. And thank you, Tej, for joining us all the way from California. Must be quite.
Sorry to interrupt, Mr. Mehta. Before you go ahead with your question, may we request you to use your handset, please?
Yeah, okay. Sorry about it. Is it better? My apologies.
Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
Okay, no, hi. Good morning, Tej and Sanjay. Tej, thanks for joining us early in the morning from California. Congrats on a good set of numbers. Couple of questions. Number one, you were looking to raise some funds in the US for frog data. How's that fundraise coming along, and by when do you expect a closure on that? Number one. And number two, what was the quarterly run rate of frog data in Q4 FY23? Thanks.
So I'll take the first part of it.
Yeah.
We have just started. We delayed the fundraising in frog data by a couple of months because we're seeing some strong numbers come in, and I wanted to capitalize on that because the momentum is very good, as well as the market here is for automotive services or platforms is very, very good right now. So we have just started it. The valuations in the industry are astronomical. I think there's a company called Techion, which is about our revenue and which has got a valuation of 1.5 billion. Go figure. That's where it is headed because there's a lot of excitement around automotive platforms. So we are working on it. We hope that in the next 90 days we should have closure.
Okay.
The valuation range, I don't know if we can give it, but we are looking at 80 million to 120 million valuation for frog data alone. That's the kind of numbers we think we can try to shoot for. What we eventually get is another matter, but this is something which we feel is achievable based on the kind of client growth we are seeing, the kind of numbers of clients we are adding. We are, in fact, adding salespeople also because we need to reach as many dealerships as possible because we're closing the closure rate is very high. So it's a matter of reaching more dealerships, getting more numbers, and using that also to drive the investment. The potential investors see that the product is doing well. We have more than, say, 1,000 some customers. Definitely there is something there. So that along with the AI engine will give us a reasonably good valuation. That's what that's the confidence we have. Thing which has come up yesterday, fog data has been around for the last 6 years. So it has a very solid foundation, solid base in the industry. People know about it. They've been hearing about it, and now they are talking about it. So given that, and given the run rate we have of client additions, I don't want to talk numbers on that, but client addition is very strong. So as we add more clients, definitely it will show up in the numbers.
But you don't see us in the US affecting your fundraise?
Not for this sector, I think. Tej, you can.
Well, it's actually slowing down in e-commerce and net-related businesses, but the big investment flowing into is anything which is to do with data analytics and AI. In fact, I'm in San Francisco with half the city empty. The offices are empty, and they're now being taken over by AI companies because all the money is going into that. People are all looking for the bet, trying to find the next big bet. And unlike Facebook or a social media platform, analytics cannot be just built on hype. You need to have the data and you need to have the technology, which is what luckily we've invested in. Not luckily, it was a plan for the last so many years, and we have demonstrated that our platform works. So there is a lot of interest. We're just making sure that we get the right valuation.
Well, all the best on that one. And what was the run rate of frog data in Q4?
We added 150 odd clients on Frog Data last quarter, which was higher than the previous quarter. So we are adding more and more clients as we go along. It's definitely increasing at a very fast clip. And now with the additional feet on the street, yeah, sorry, go on.
This year we'll double the client base. I can only say that without giving numbers.
Okay. Good luck. Well, good luck on that. And third, I'm just curious, how come we're not paying any income tax?
Our local income is very low, and in the US we still have earlier losses which were there from the past, which we can still use to set off our income there. So I think we will have to start paying after 2 years, but till then we have a tax shelter.
Okay. And lastly, could you just talk a little bit about how the business in Europe is evolving?
Sage?
Europe is very stable. We have, as you know, a new contract with Stellantis, which basically mandates, I think I've mentioned it before, we finally signed it. So they're moving it towards all of Stellantis in Europe for our CRM product. And I think we may have mentioned it earlier, we set up a new subsidiary for consulting, which comes under the French government's certification as a certified training company, which means that we are now, it's a kind of addition to our business because we do a lot of automotive, since we work with OEMs and dealerships. In Europe, we've got this niche where we do consulting as well. And being a certified company means we can tap into the training and consulting budgets. And every French company by law has to spend 2% of their turnover on training. But with a certified company, and since we are a certified company now in the automotive space, that side of business in Europe is growing, outside of just the digital piece, which is very stable. So Europe will not be as large as US because our main focus is France and Spain, but it's a very healthy market for us.
Wonderful. And lastly, you mentioned something about, doing some support work for gaming companies in India. Could you talk a little bit about that?
Support work for?
Gaming, Sony and...
CGI bit.
Oh, yes. Sony remains a big client for us, and it's been now 7 years that they've been a client. We're the only studio outside of Sony worldwide that they use for production of CGI. In fact, in their game, which is that, I forget the name.
Gran Turismo.
Sorry, all the 3D models in that game are now built by Izmo. So it's a niche business for us, but it's very prestigious and very solid. And Sony will not work with you unless you are the best quality in the industry. So for us, it's more of a, achievement that they're a client of ours.
Wonderful. And we see that business growing. The only constraint there is the quality which is required. So for us to hire someone and train them takes nearly 6 to 9 months to achieve the quality level which is required for Sony and such gaming companies. So the work is there. In fact, we are backlogged on deliveries because they want a lot more from us than what we are able to deliver. And we are ramping up slowly. The team has been increasing since we started working with Sony. But it takes time to build that quality team. So it's one step at a time. So I can't go and hire 50 people and then have them on the project because they just won't be able to get the quality which we need and which Sony expects. So it's a slow and steady growth in that division.
So we are seeing Frog Data potentially doubling in the current year. On an overall basis, what kind of growth are we targeting for the company as a whole?
We are, I think, looking at around 25 to 30% overall growth. That's what we are shooting for.
Okay. Well, that's it from my side. All the best. I think you've got your hands full. So look forward to an exciting year.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Tej.
Thanks.
Thank you. Our next question is from the line of Darshil Javeri from Crown Capital. Please go ahead.
Hello. Good morning, sir, and thank you so much for taking my questions. Firstly, congratulations on an amazing set of results. Hello.
Yeah. Please go on.
Yeah.
I can hear you.
So, sir, we've been now poised for, good revenue growth also. So now I think we were spending more on marketing and our costs. So going forward, will our EBITDA margin of Q4 be the norm, or how should we look at it?
See, the EBITDA margin of Q4 has a couple of things. Normally, it's always the highest because we do a lot of billing in that quarter. So historically, last 10 years, if you see, the Q4 is always the highest, and then it dips in the next quarter. But the dip will not be very sharp because as we keep adding more clients, and since most of it is ARR, we see a gradual growth in the numbers. There are some one-time billing which happens in Jan to March quarter. It doesn't happen in the rest of the year. So that's why it can't be taken as a yardstick that it will be repeated Q on Q. But like I said, Y on Y, we'll see better numbers. So overall, you'll see the numbers improving as the year goes forward. But
so, sir, as a rough range, would around 23-25% be apt range in case of our? Okay.
I think that's quite achievable.
Okay. That helps. And so, with as we are trying to expand in US and everything, do we see any kind of risk, due to some kind of recessionary fear, or how is it? Is there a market slowdown or something that could potentially, have posed a risk or speed bump to us?
Tej?
The market, actually, it's very interesting that, we are very happy to see the debt ceiling bill has been passed here. So the actual uncertainty in the market is gone. And we are seeing it stabilize. And the automotive market remains very, very stable. There was a dip in the used car pricing 2 months back, but it's come up again. So the market is quite healthy as far as we are concerned. And as if the market gets tighter, it's actually favorable to us because our price point, we are very competitive at the end of the day because all our services, everything is rendered from India. So at some point, we look at, especially, very few companies can compete with the product offering we have at the price point that we have. So we actually welcome, I think even Mr. Narayan Murthy said, whenever there's a recession in US, it's good for Indian companies. So we look at it as, I don't want to...
Opportunity. And especially our products help the dealerships make more money by reducing their other costs. So their other marketing costs, which are quite high, they cut back and then spend more on digital and using our kind of products. That's what we have seen.
That's very helpful, sir, and that's a very good way to hear it. So thank you so much for my answers and all the best.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Our next question is from the line of Milan Shah from Urmil Research Consultancy. Please go ahead.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you. You're audible.
Okay. Congratulations for good set of number and wish for the best. And very well that Tej is also connected from California. I want to know, for data is valued approximately 100 to 80 to 100 million. It is 100% ownership by Izmo, sir?
It's around 75%, and there are stock options to the main technical people to balance.
Okay.
We have some very, very talented individuals and the founder of Frog Data also. So we have given stock options to them.
Okay. Sir, what is the percentage of dealership acquired by us in USA and maybe in Europe?
Sorry, come again. The question was not clear.
How much a dealer are acquired but with us in USA, or what is the market share of in USA of Izmo car?
See, at around, yeah, sorry, Tej, you can go on.
Yeah, actually, it's very interesting. In terms of market share, we have probably, let's say, out of 16,000, about 1,500 dealers, so 10%. So there is a lot of room to grow, little less than 10%.
Okay. Sir, what is the we have provided in ESO in current year?
Sorry?
Value term, which is what amount is we have provision for ESOP in current year?
Provision
in
for?
Employee cost. In employee cost, what amount is provided under ESOP amount?
Really, for ESOP or for the salaries?
Yeah, no. ESOP. What amount is provided in ESOP?
1 second, I will tell you. Just hold on. It was around 51 lakhs.
Sir, what is the gross debt of say or Indian company right now on book?
Cost?
Debt.
Debt. We don't have any debt.
So we are a debt-free company right now, right?
Yes, correct. Except for like car loans and all that, which is nothing much. There is no long-term debt.
Or what is the sale or marketing
capital?
Okay. And can you repeat the company which is your Technico, which is your what's exact sale of this company, which is valuation of 1.5?
Tekion, Tekion.
Okay. Thank you, sir, for your kind and best wishes, and expect that Pacer is going to attend all-time Concall, so we can understand easily the US and Europe market. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Definitely you'll attend it. Definitely.
Thank you. Our next question is from the line of Saurabh Sandwani from Sahasrar Capital. Please go ahead.
Hello. I just wanted a clarification that our product is not involved in the car design process, right? It's involved in the sales and customer side aspects of a auto company. Is that correct?
Yeah, we are totally on the retail side. Front end.
Okay, so you don't directly sell your products to auto companies, but you sell to individual dealers, right?
We do both, because auto companies, on one side you have design and manufacturing, on the other side they have to sell cars and manage that whole business. So on the operational side, and anything to do with retail or selling, we get involved. So there's a lot of opportunity there with big brands. So we work with in Europe, we do a lot of work with Stellantis and with Renault. In US, Ford is a big client of ours. And in fact, in the past, virtually every OEM has been a client of ours at one point or the other. Nissan, Mitsubishi. So we work with OEMs. There's plenty of business on the retail side, on the sales and marketing and operational side where they need software.
And apart from our auto retail,
and now even on the training we are doing, the consulting we are doing is for OEMs. So that's being driven by OEMs, and we have done a lot of product development for OEMs, especially in Europe, and we are increasing our engagement with them significantly. So there is a lot of traction happening, building with OEMs also now, which of course it takes time, because OEMs takes a lot of time to build up relationship with them, and we started with in Europe since the last few years, and it's now gradually increasing steadily. And in fact, during COVID, we had done a lot of work for the OEMs during the most difficult time, and they appreciate what we did. And we are looking forward to getting a lot more business from the French OEMs.
Okay. So, and apart from auto, retail, and also gaming, are there any verticals that we are working on? Are there any businesses?
Right now, our focus is automotive because we want to remain focused on that vertical. The potential there is huge. We can potentially go into other verticals, but it would be a distraction. And then you have to invest heavily in each side. So we'll just stick to automotive for the time being.
Yeah, penetration in the biggest market in the US itself is low. So there's still a lot of room to grow in this market itself. So right now, it does not make economic sense to go and spend a lot of money trying to enter a new vertical when we can definitely grow here substantially. So we will continue doing this for some time.
Okay. And just another question on the data platform that you have built. So what is the revenue model for the data model? Do you charge on per user basis, or is it on per counter basis? What is how are you charging it?
It's a monthly fee per month per rooftop, as we say, per dealership, or an annual fee.
So it's a SaaS model, basically on SaaS.
So there is no long-term, yeah.
We don't do user count because it just complicates billing. It's just easier to do a flat rate per month, and we calculate. We've already done the averaging cost per user and built it into that.
Okay. And there is no long-term licenses that you have signed for this data platform. All the revenues are per month, per dealership basis, right?
So it's all annual license. So it's instead of, we call it a monthly license fee, but we have annual licenses.
Okay.
So it's a ARR, annual recurring revenue, but when you want to position it to a customer, we'll say, hey, it's only so much per month, but it's an annual contract.
Okay. Thank you. That's all from my side.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, a reminder to all participants, you may press star and 1 to ask a question. I repeat, you may press star and 1 to ask a question. Our next question is from the line of Piyush Mehta from Caprice Investments. Please go ahead.
Hi Sanjay, hi Tej. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Hi, good morning. So quick question. So as of now, Frog Data would be how much percentage of the overall revenue?
It's around 9%.
9%. And as Frog Data helps us to add more clients for our licensing business as well, how do you think this whole revenue breakup shapes up when we look at FY24 and if possible FY25? How does licensing?
FY24 we are looking at around 15% to 18% from Frog Data.
Okay.
And probably FY25 around 30%.
Okay. And you did mention that current like 25-26% margins are sustainable. Over the next couple of years, as we the another new product that you mentioned, one, of course, what is the response to that one, and how do you think this margin trajectory moves?
The margins should be quite steady
Okay.
to growing. We are trying to keep costs under very tight control. We are spending, of course, on marketing because we are adding feet on the street. And new territory, if we want to enter, we will have to spend on that. But otherwise, we see the margins being stable to going up.
Okay. And how is the response being to Izmo Emporio?
So Izmo Emporio, when we launched it, it took a little time for it to pick up, and we are releasing an upgrade as a complete sales tool, which will be out in the market by mid-June, and you can see it on our website, Izmo Emporio.
Okay.
And we just two partnerships for reselling our product with website companies there in the US, which comprise of almost 80% of all the dealers. And they'll be reselling our product. So it's digital retail. And this year we'll see with the new product launch, we had to add some new features which the market wanted, which we've added now, and we are re-releasing it. And we believe that after doing that, the traction will be much better. And with the new reseller arrangements, we'll see good market penetration.
Is there any revenue contribution from Emporio as of now?
There is, but it's still in single digits.
Okay.
We hope to make it double digit in this year, because it was launched just in the fag end of last year.
Understood. And you mentioned like we
really see the numbers coming in.
Okay, got it. And you mentioned we of course with the OEM, with the dealers as well. What would be the split between this? If we have to see a revenue between the OEMs and dealers plus.
We don't actually categorize the revenue in that manner. So we
Okay. So, and the last question.
There's a lot of revenue gets captured in the dealership, but is actually OEM driven. So it's very difficult sometimes to, is this OEM business or is this dealership business? So we can't really go down to that granular level. So it's like Stellantis mandates the product which is sold to the dealers, but it's actually mandated by Stellantis. Now, would that be an OEM listing or is it dealership? So then we don't do that. It becomes very complicated.
Fair enough. Last question. On taxation, you mentioned we had some past losses on the US side and they are being used to set off. How long do you think this continues, considering we are on a high growth path?
We have another 2 years, I think, and then we have to start paying tax.
Okay. That's from my end. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, you may press star and 1 to ask a question. Our next question is from the line of Aman Vij from AlphaStreet Investment Management. Please go ahead.
Oh, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Aman.
Yeah, my first question is if you can talk about the investments which we have done till date on the 3 platforms.
It's quite substantial, running into 7 crores in each one, because it's years of development. I can't give you the numbers offhand. But it's
okay, but will it be like 50-100 crores or 200-300 crores? Rough range is also okay.
Not so much. That figure is over the life of the company. This would be like between 10 to 20 crores.
Combined over all the 3 platforms?
No, each.
Okay. And my second question is if you can provide the current split of revenues. Stock data you have talked about, but what is the contribution from Izmo Cars and Izmo Studio for this year?
If you go through the presentation sent by AdFactors, we have broken it up in that quite in detail. So you can actually find the breakup there. So we have 47% interactive media licensing, then we have digital web 21, data analytics is 8, and then there's some in recurring services, then CRM. So we have actually done it very well in that. So
okay.
Rahul, can you send it to them, because then you give answers
no, I have seen
questions.
I have seen, sir. I have seen that. If you can.
Slide 10.
Yeah, I've seen that. If you can talk about a little bit, so you talk about this platform as a service model, although it's yearly instead of monthly, but still this is something we have moved to in this year. So as a percentage of revenue, where do you see, first of all, if you can talk about what was it this year, and where do you see this number in the next 2-3 years?
This is for which one specifically? Because the voice is not very clear. So I'm just trying to actually make up.
Platform as a service, sir.
Is that relating to frog data?
Frog
Yeah.
data.
Yes.
Frog
Okay.
data, where we pivoted from going from the services which we did till last year, we've gone into platform as a service. So basically what it does is it it takes the entire revenue that we're doing and flips it into a recurring revenue, where instead of, we deliver it once and then we have to go and re-sign them, it automatically renews year on year. And because they start using the platform, it becomes a habit, something they need to use every day, as opposed to a service which you order when you need. So the idea is to get the customer hooked onto it. So we expect our revenues in Frog Data to be almost 95% recurring revenue this year.
Sure, sir. If you can, my next question is if you can talk about, so we have around 1,500 dealers as of now. So if you can talk about in terms of what were the, say, number of cars sold on the platform and the transaction value, you would have these numbers just to see how those numbers are scaling up for the company.
So we are not a platform where you sell cars. It's like the portals that you might see, Kartik or the others. We are an operations tool. We work inside the dealerships, helping them manage their operations or improve their operations, whether it's on the service side or it's on the sales side. So we are like, what should I say? We are like the operating system of the dealership. We are not the online e-commerce platform, which is a very small part of what they do.
Okay. So you are saying that base platform billing per dealer, that is not a significant business for us. I understand we are not like Cars Deco and all those things, but because we were providing these services to dealers, I thought there will be some kind of tracking linked to their growth. So what is the right metrics to then see?
Well, what happens is that irrespective of how many cars the dealer sells, in 1 month if he sells less or he sells more. If he sells less, he needs us to figure out how to increase sales. If he sells more, he needs to find out how to continue that growth, so we go into operations. So we'll tell the dealer, look, this is how you should be pricing your cars to sell. This is what you have on your inventory. This is the right price for this car if you want to sell it at a profit. Or we'll be telling them that these are the models that you should order. This is your projected sale. There is more demand for black car with yellow seats, whatever. So we are able to give them that insight or that, prediction that this is what you should do in order for you to operate better. It's like picking a stock. How do you make sure you're betting on the right thing? We use analytics to help them make that decision. Not exactly the same, but it's more scientific than that. It's completely data-driven. There is no emotion involved. So we're looking at billions of data points, and we're able to advise the dealer that this is your next action, or this is a recommendation that you should do. Now, it depends how many of them take up the recommendation. So it's like if a doctor gives you medicine, you don't take the medicine, you're not going to get the benefit. But our job is to always give them the recommendation. So it is not dependent on car sales at all. It's dependent on operational efficiency.
That helps, sir. My next question is you talked about TechQ valuations, and you talked about their revenue as similar to us. I didn't understand that point because what I've understood is TechQ is a much bigger company. So which part were you comparing revenue?
TechQ is not in terms of revenue bigger than Izmo as of now. I can show, they're growing very fast. They're adding customers, but they're still a startup, literally.
Yeah, but shouldn't we compare Frog Data with TechQ instead of the whole Izmo company with TechQ?
Sure, we operate in that. Frog Data is what we are talking about when we talk about valuation in the US market.
Yeah, but you are saying that we have like a $2 million sales, and that company also has a $2 million sales. I didn't get that point.
No. I think let me put it in context. We're talking about if you take the revenue of a company like Techion, and their revenues, they've got about 1,000 dealers. They're sub 20 million, and their valuation is 1.5 billion. Another company, Roadster, which is doing digital marketing, digital retail, their revenue was something like 7-8 million, and they got sold for 350 million year and a half back. So that's the valuation that the US market gives on the forward multiple, on the digital side or on the analytics side or on the operational side, where you have platforms for dealerships. So it's just, it's not that stock data revenue same as Techion, i.e. our valuation should be that. But just to give you a comparable.
Okay. This makes sense, sir. My next question is on the frog data front. You have explained nicely what growth we are seeing for next 2-3 years. If you can talk about similarly for Izmo Cars and Izmo Studio, what kind of growth are we expecting for these two divisions?
So on the Izmo Car side, our growth is driven, like we said, from 3 areas. One is new products in existing markets. So we've got our Emporio product, which is moving ahead. And we've got the virtual reality platform, which we plan to release later this year. Then we have existing products in existing markets. So we've got our digital retail platform, which is bringing back to US. We had exited the US 10 years back and focused on the European market. And we find that our platform is actually pretty good. And the market here in US is, open for us. So it's a little slower process, but eventually we'll get our market share in the US. So that's the existing product. And then we have the new products that we're launching in these markets, which is, all the time we have. Izmo is now taking the frog data AI and embedding it into our products, which makes our products more intelligent. So these are all new ventures that will add on to our products as we go forward in this year. On the Izmo side, the growth is going to be about, I think, 25% easily year on year.
You're talking about Izmo Cars specifically, this 30% growth?
Yeah.
Okay. And Izmo Studio, if you can talk about that as well?
We look at it combined because the Izmo Studio products eventually go into our Izmo Cars product. So when I talk of a web platform, it incorporates the Izmo Studio. And so when I sell something like a web platform for $1,200 a month, $400 or $500 out of that is the studio content. And outside of that, independent licensing of content, it's a unique market because we are the only provider in the world that can provide global content. So if you're a global company and you want automotive content, you have to come to Izmo. There is no other supplier in the market. And so we keep having discussions with all the major players, whether it's the big e-commerce companies or big portals. They all talk to us all the time about adding our content, and we should have some significant new licenses signed this year on that side. We're already in negotiations. I obviously can't say anything till it's signed, but once it's done, we'll make that announcement.
Sure, sir. My final question is in terms of employee addition, and what is the employee count today, and what is the employee addition we are planning for this year and next year?
We have around 350 employees now. We are adding people, like I said, for several of the teams, especially the AI and also the Sony team. So it's not, we don't hire large numbers. We are very particular about quality of the people we hire because being a product company, our needs are very different. So we are gradually increasing our head count, but again, being very judicious about not adding too much cost. So as and when, for whichever division we require, we are hiring. Especially on the analytics side, we are beefing up the team in India as well as the sales team in the US.
What was the addition in FY23, sir?
We added, I think, around 55 people last year.
Okay. Similar number should we expect for this year?
Yeah, should be in around the same level.
Sure, sir. Thanks for answering all the questions.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Due to time constraint, that was the last question of our question and answer session. For any further questions, please get in touch with Izmo's investor relations team. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Sanjay Soni for closing comments.
I thank the entire team of Izmo for the untiring efforts, hard work, and dedication which drives the company forward. I thank all of you for participating in our conference call. Please do get in touch with our investor relations team for any further questions. We shall be very happy to respond to them. Take care and have a good day. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. On behalf of Izmo Limited, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining us, and you may now disconnect your line.